I know that some of you are wondering where the Warframe content is, some of you are wondering where the Siege content is, and I'm wondering why Call of Duty never gave their advanced movement titles larger maps. I really emphasized the S on the end of maps there. Listen, I like advanced movement Call of Duty games, at least for the novelty of them now and for the novelty of them then. The core design of how an advanced movement Call of Duty game works is kind of bullshit. I'm not going to go into it, this has been talked about for years now, but look, when I'm waiting at a doorway for somebody to come around the corner, and they can be either, 10 feet in the air, or sliding down on the ground, or just they're going to come out at a normal walking pace, there's so much uncertainty, there's so many variables, you could say it adds more skill. In my opinion, it just gives me a goddamn headache. But if you guys watched my videos back in the day, you guys know that I was pretty decent at Black Ops 3, I was pretty decent at Infinite Warfare. Advanced Warfare, that's a different story, but I still enjoyed it. I got to max prestige in both Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, and I played the hell out of Infinite Warfare, but the reason I stopped playing Infinite Warfare before getting max prestige was it drained the hell out of me. I've said this before and I'll say it again, the pacing of advanced movement COD games is fatiguing at best, and the most annoying thing to happen to mankind at the worst. At least that's my perspective. I think it's too fast. I think not only is it too fast, it's too relentless. I'm okay with a fast-paced, knuckle-biting match, but when every match plays with the exact same pace because all of the maps are roughly the same size and they force roughly the same engagements and everybody has so much speed and verticality at their fingertips, the game just plays poorly. At least in my opinion. While playing Infinite Warfare today, and that's why you are only seeing Infinite Warfare gameplay, I haven't touched Black Ops 3 in a while, and Advanced Warfare makes me want to pull my hair out. I just can't get anything going in that game. But Infinite Warfare I actually liked quite a bit, but I just couldn't push myself to keep playing that exact same pace that's prevalent in most Advanced Warfare maps, pretty much every Black Ops 3 map, and throughout all of Infinite Warfare. It's just the same pace, and after 2 years of it prior, it wore me down really bad. Around the same time, Battlefield 1 started to feel too clusterfucky as well. It was just a bad time for gaming, at least for me. And then Overwatch was also kept very fast-paced, in-your-face game, and then Doom was a very fast-paced, in-your-face game, and that year of shooters just fatigued me. I had my fun in all of them. I love Doom 2016 for what it is, even though I think it's pretty repetitive. I'd make a review on it, but I would get so many downvotes. I probably already just got some from saying it's repetitive. I guess that's the idea, but didn't care. Overwatch was competitive, fast-paced, knuckle-biting gameplay, which fatigued the ever-living shit out of me. Infinite Warfare was fast-paced. Battlefield 1 was a lot more clusterfucky than Battlefield 4 in my opinion, and Hardline in my opinion. It just didn't have the verticality and complexity in the maps, so the combat was more oriented around the objectives, which might be a good thing for some of you, but I prefer the more sandbox feel of Battlefield. And then before that we had Black Ops 3. Either way, I'm digressing incredibly hard because I'm just trying to paint you a picture of the fact that I was annoyed because that's important for some reason. Your mileage may vary, and I would love to be the guy that says Advanced Movement COD was bunk from the beginning, and Battlefield 1's the best game, and Doom is the best single player, and I'd love to say that. Get a bunch of brownie points, throw in a little bit of Overwatch is dead now memes, and everyone would love me, but that's not where my head is. There are two types of people on YouTube. Show me where my people are going so that I may lead them, and then there's show me where my people are going so that I may piss them off, and I usually fall into the latter category, unfortunately. But look, Call of Duty made a big whoopsie. Giving games like Infinite Warfare advanced movement was a terrible idea, one that could have been reversed, too. I think most of Infinite Warfare's maps would have played pretty well in boots on ground, and I think most of the people that played the tactical game mode would agree with that. Black Ops 3 is the same way. And what bothers me is that games like Call of Duty Ghosts, where your movement is much more limited, you don't even have unlimited sprint unless you put a perk on in Ghosts, those maps were huge. Now I personally love the pacing of Ghosts. I love that it can either be breakneck or slow depending on who you're playing against. The maps allow for that variety. It's more often leaning towards slower, but I'm honestly okay with that. Ghosts wasn't redlining all the time, and I find that to be charming and endearing at this time. Maybe I'll change my mind later. It's weird to give maps like Stonehaven to Call of Duty Ghosts, and maps like this to Infinite Warfare. This should be inversed. Boots on ground games could have smaller maps, like in Black Ops 2, I think that worked pretty well, and larger maps would facilitate advanced movement so much better because there's more areas to traverse. Maps are only as big as the player's fastest and slowest speeds allow. What I mean is, if a map is really big, but players have unlimited sprint, thruster packs, they can slide, they can dash through the air, and they have all that going on, then the map shrinks. The map just shrinks. That's just how it happens. You can't argue with me on this. If you have faster players on a larger map, the match will play faster. If they have more movement options, the game will play faster. Why did Call of Duty feel the need to speed up players, give them so many options, completely make power positions irrelevant by allowing them to thruster jump up or high jump like in Black Ops 4, for instance? And they make power positions irrelevant. They speed up the gameplay by speeding up the players, and then they have the audacity to shrink the maps down. I don't understand why they did that. And sitting here today on a Saturday afternoon, that's all I can think about. Why did we never see it? Now, if you play some of the Advanced Warfare DLC maps, those are actually larger, and they're more open, and I think they play better. When you take somebody that has unlimited sprint, the ability to shoot themselves up 15 feet in the air, they can slide and change direction mid-slide, they can thrust in different areas, they can high mantle things, why would you limit their play space? Infinite Warfare almost feels like it was made to be boots on ground, but then somebody changed a decision last minute and removed some ladders, and boop, it's an advanced movement COD. I really hope that we get an advanced movement COD later down the line that has massively complicated maps. I want huge, complicated maps with different buildings. I want like a Siege of Shanghai from Battlefield 4 style map with exosuits and thruster packs and jet packs and shit. That sounds great. I don't know why when Call of Duty limits players' movement, they make the maps bigger. And then when they speed up the players, they make the maps smaller. When we saw just how campy people could be in Ghosts, I didn't personally hate it, but objectively, people were campier in Ghosts. And in Black Ops 2, people liked that pacing. Black Ops 2 is pretty well paced, and there's a good amount of variety taking place. Now, the map design's a little meh in some areas, at least in my opinion. I think it's a little too symmetrical, a little too easy. But by George, I don't know what the decision-making behind the scenes must have been like. Hey guys, we've sped up the players, they have unlimited sprint, they can shoot themselves up in the air, they can slide around corners, it's crazy, and we've made the maps 50 times smaller. Isn't that fun? Not 50 times, more like 2.5 times smaller. But you get the point. If Call of Duty Ghosts had advanced movement, people would not have complained about campers. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comment section below. I know people like fast, frantic action. That's why people vote for maps like Shipment and Rust and Nuketown. But you get to a point where the map design just seems to completely contradict the rest of the game. Kind of like how having a loot system like Division and a hub world in Ghost Recon Breakpoint kind of counters the whole theme and style of the game. Something like that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Am I out to lunch? Am I onto something? What do you think? Is this irrelevant because of the current year? I don't know. It's just a weird thought. Like, Modern Warfare is coming out and has larger, more complicated maps. They play a little bit more campy. And it's like, that's the boots on ground game. But the advanced movement game has the small, linear, 3-lane, predictable maps. And it's like, I don't get that decision. Don't get it. See when I see you.
That's funny.
Not the best game to go knife only in, buddy. I wouldn't have rewound there either. And I'm gonna shoot all of you people. Yo. This is just cough.